how can you explore people's beliefs to say, okay, here it is, and then what can you do about it to remove it? Or even sometimes, is there a case where you accept you are where you are and we do something different? I know it's sort of throwing it out there.
Yeah, there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there. But they're really good and valid questions in terms of exploring human psychology and how we work. And so what I'll say about that is, number one, the way that I look at beliefs in terms of two continuums. So I look at beliefs in terms of, is it resourceful or not? So at the top, we've got resourceful. At the bottom, I've got unresourceful. And then the other question is it accurate or not? So here is inaccurate and here is accurate.
Yes.
And so now I've got this grid, right? With, down here I've got unresourceful, inaccurate, resourceful, inaccurate, accurate, but accurate, but unresourceful, and then resourceful and accurate. And so the way that I work with people and the way that I train people is to kind of classify beliefs in that sort of way. And so I would prefer that someone has a resourceful and yet inaccurate belief.
Yes.
Than an unresourceful and inaccurate belief.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so
no, for sure.
if the person's like, I can run a 3-minute mile tomorrow, right? That's a belief. It's better than I'll never be able to run a 4-minute mile.
Yes.
Right?
No,
I think
get a better chance of achieving it.
Yeah, because that'll motivate him to keep on going. But then the reality will kick in. It's like, is this accurate or inaccurate? I don't like true or not true. Beliefs aren't true. They're just models of the world. So they're not true or false. There's certain degrees of accuracy and inaccuracy, right? There's no way to know, but I can guess and I can set an outcome for myself. So ideally, what people are doing is they're slowly shifting up into this top quadrant of taking their resourceful beliefs, taking their unresourceful beliefs, making them resourceful, and then taking their resourceful beliefs and making them accurate. And I think that this is part of this maturation process I was talking about. So one of the distinctions between the way that I do NLP, and really one of the distinctions between neurosemantics and most of traditional NLP is that my main outcome is focusing on people's self-actualization. So people moving through this maturation process and unleashing their highest potential, rather than focusing just on outcome achievement. Because sometimes people set outcomes for themselves. Like I had a client a couple of months back, a woman, and her outcome that she wanted more than anything was to get married and to have a family. A middle-aged woman. And so one of the interesting things, obviously with NLP, we know that that's not it's not in her power to control that. There are certain things that are in her power to make that more well-formed. But my point here is that was not necessarily what was aligned with her highest and best. That's what she wanted, but it wasn't what she really needed to move along this pathway up until becoming more whole in herself, to be able to be more secure and to meet her lower needs, then to be ready for that. And so sometimes the presenting problem or the presenting outcome, even if we're being goal and outcome focused, sometimes even the outcome that the client wants is not really what they need.
Of course, yeah. No, definitely. No, that's a really good point. Yeah.
So yeah, so my point here is that, well, yeah, so I tend to move beliefs from unresourceful to resourceful, then from resourceful over towards being more accurate. And when being accurate is about being truthful, being honest with yourself. And I think that's where some of the NLP also, I was led down a pathway in my journey of mastering NLP that took me kind of down some icky paths, because what I was told is that you can make anything possible and anything can be true, and you can change and have a happy childhood and just completely make beliefs disappear and replace them with, or experiences and memories disappear and replace them with better memories and all that kind of stuff. And the more that I grow into the stuff, the more I realize that sure, you can do that, but is that really what you need? Is that really going to make you whole? And what I'm discovering is that it's moving towards more about being honest and being authentic and being accurate in the way that you perceive yourself and the way that you perceive the world and the way that you perceive money. The more accurate that your beliefs are, as long as you keep them resourceful, the better off you're going to be. But a belief, for example, like I'm stuck in a rut and I'm never going to get out of this, is unresourceful, and it's sure as hell inaccurate. It may seem accurate based on the reference experiences that you're pulling up, but look at some other reference experiences, because there's plenty of people, for every person who didn't do it, there's a person who did.
Yes.